The horrific events that happened early into the hours of a new year, 2025, on the streets of New Orleans were terrifying and deplorable and despicable. And there aren't enough words in the English language to explain the abject evil that occurred in those wee morning hours. But I felt that this was something that was easy to vilify, easy to unite against, and something that the American people could band together and not just give our thoughts and prayers, but our time and money to healing, not just a city, not just a community, but our nation as a whole in the face of true terrorism. That's what I figured we could do. Oh, how I underestimated the power of stupidity among people and the press.
We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity.
Whew. Let's talk about that. I must admit that I am genuinely shocked by about how something as easily denounceable as a terror attack and an act of terrorism is, that the press and some of these idiots can still screw this up.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Sometimes I have to live by my own advice. I often tell my brothers, don't put anything past anyone and never underestimate the power of human stupidity.
I'm stating facts, 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 facts.
Yet, I found myself, I guess, almost subconsciously doing that because looking at our nation's history, terror attacks are something that are easy to denounce, especially domestic terror attacks, going all the way back to the Oklahoma City bombing, to the Boston Marathon bombers, to this right here. But apparently, I asked too much of the damn near extinct legacy media. And here, this is a very good reason about why they are going extinct. You see, it's statements like this that have me questioning the very integrity of legacy media. New Orleans truck attack adds to growing list of similar incidents.
Yeah.
Truck attack, not a terrorist attack, but a truck attack.
What the hell is even that?
They put the truck like it's its own living entity, and that's what I have a problem with how it is presented. Just follow me and you'll see where my problem lies with this new legacy media. Because see, that wasn't the only time it was referred to in such a manner.
But wait, there's more.
Notice that little byline right there. Officials give update on daily New Orleans truck attack.
Huh. That's odd.
Why isn't it called a terror attack?
Good question.
And in my 2 cents, over recent years, they usually only do that to what the blue tards would call a marginalized individual, a minority, if you will. See, when they are involved in heinous acts, they don't like to call them out. Think I'm kidding? Here's the other example. Frosty, I'm showing our audience what the legacy media does whenever a person whom they would call marginalized or a minority does something heinous.
They look over it.
Hey, I just gave 2 prime examples about how they call this a truck attack. They didn't call 9/11 a plane attack.
Nay, nay, nay.
No, but it's a way to minimize and lower what it actually is.
That's exactly what I said. And I said it primarily happens when it is a person, and I see it more over the last 5 years, since the death of St. Floyd. that whenever a marginalized person or a minority does something, they never, ever want to say this individual did it.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds when they say it, when media does that, it's like, oh, these people just didn't know better.
Huh?
You mean this adult person who committed this heinous act? You think they thought this was a positive, great thing to do? Whatever their intention is not positive.
And understand, here is again, there was a black man who drove his pickup truck back in 2021. Let me give everybody a catch up. Back in 2021, that was a black man who intentionally drove his pickup truck through a parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and it didn't fit the narrative. So here, I'm going to give you the headline from CNN. If y'all thought I was just kidding about that whole truck attack, if y'all think y'all Big Brother Tucker was just picking on someone, allow me to show you what CNN said well after the parade, well after the attack. Are you ready, bro? Because it's going to be mind-blowing. And I want you to read the headline.
A sixth victim has died after the Waukesha Christmas parade crash, prosecutors say.
It wasn't even an attack. It was a simple crash. Frosty, a man intentionally drove his truck through people during a parade. He drove around barricades, intentionally running over people during a Christmas parade in a small town in Wisconsin. And what does CNN call it? A Christmas parade crash. Like it was an accident.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
No, far from it.
Far from it. But I think the New York Post immediately after summed it up best with their headline, the New York Post headline. And to me, this is what, in the immediate aftermath, what the legacy media tried to do as well. Here is what the New York Post said about the Waukesha Christmas parade attack. Not fitting the narrative, Waukesha feels abandoned after tragic parade attack.
I believe it.
And those opening 4 words sum it all up. Not fitting their narrative. Who is there? The left, the libtards.
Because I swear, if it was some white man, if it was some white man that ran over all these people, they would have said all kinds of things. They would have said, oh man, white supremacy. They would just every type of person would be coming out. The race hustlers come out. I mean, they'll flock to a story like this. But since it's he was a black guy. Oh well, never mind. Let's go. Let's pack it up, people. Let's go home.
Let's close up the bridge. Let's get out of here. Close it up. Lights out.
Oh, for sure.
That's the sad part about it. I remember when things used to didn't be like this. They weren't like this in the past. Where when the media was, if something came out, they just said what it was: black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whoever did the crime. They say, "Oh yeah, the suspect is such and such," and he kept it pushing. It's to the point now, or I think we've had this conversation before, where when I watch any media and there's a crime happening, if we don't immediately know what the person looks like, it depends on how the media says it. That I know it's a black person that did it.
Exactly.
It's the words that they don't say.
Exactly. See, the funny part about it is, again, 51. So I've seen a lot of things. Whereas back in the day, it was the exact opposite. Back in the 80s, you always knew when it was a black or a white person because they tell the black person's name instantly. If it was a white guy, they're not going to give it out. You know, it's what Malcolm X said about the media. It has the power to control the minds of the masses. If you're not careful, the media will have you loving the oppressor while hating the oppressed. And that's what the media is doing now. I cannot remember, what was that shooting? Was it at a Home Depot or some grocery store up north where the white guy was shooting black people and Latino people? It was some mass shooting up there. The Buffalo shooter, yes, at the grocery store. Now, the point that's being made here is how it's handled differently.
Yes.
From
it is
when someone, a minority, supposed minority or marginalized person does something heinous, and when a white person does something heinous. If you would like to hear the rest of that, feel free to join us on our Rumble channel, still under Free Mind Thinkers. There you will find the full and unedited version of this video. Remember, until next time, to stand up, stand out, and think differently. Holla.